Buttercream. I'm gonna make buttercream. I'm gonna make Swiss meringue buttercream. This is my foolproof recipe that I've used for 10 years. I have to do my measurements to see what we actually have, but yes. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're cooking again. I do have a party tomorrow. Tomorrow is my brother's champagne party, and that is just another name for a prom send-off. And it's something really specific to the Black community in Los Angeles. That's the term that we use. I'm doing a cake. I think I'm gonna do some scones. I have some fig leaves that I just picked off my neighbor's tree that I wanna make into a syrup. Okay. Then I'm gonna add 400 grams of sugar. And now I'm gonna put it on a double broiler and cook it down into a syrup. I'm gonna do this on like medium high heat. The only thing you have to be worried about is the egg whites getting on the edges and kind of cooking on their own, but even that is nothing fatal. So we're just getting all of the sugar dissolved here. And I know that it's dissolved when I'm not feeling any more graininess, and I'm not hearing any graininess. Cooking is really, or baking specifically, is really a use of all of your senses. All right, we are done here. The other sign that I forgot to mention of knowing that it's done is it becomes pretty opaque. I just paused the mixer, and how you know that the meringue is done whipping is that the bowl will be cool to the touch. Not cool to the touch, but not warm to the touch. Like, this is not hot anymore for me. So now I'm gonna add in my butter. Buttercream is done. It's so freaking good. It's light as a cloud. It's buttery but not too overpowering. The salt and the vanilla just is so good. Right, so the last thing I'm gonna do before I take a little lunch break is do a fig leaf syrup. I love fig leaves, and I'm so glad they burst onto the scene, the culinary scene, a couple years ago. They smell so good, and they have this like herbaceous, savory quality. When you apply it to different desserts or even savory food, it just brings this like fruity, herbaceous, savory note to everything, and I just think they're like super fun and beautiful. I'm growing a fig tree right now in a pot and one day I will plant it, but look how beautiful they are. And I just picked these up from my neighbor's tree, and they're so gorgeous. Anyway, so I'm gonna make a little syrup with these, and I'm gonna toast these first to really bring out that flavor. and then do the syrup. All right, so we have 2 trays of fig leaves. This is 5 leaves. They're pretty large leaves, and we're gonna roast them on 250 just until they're kind of dry and curled up, you'll see. This is what our fig leaves are looking like. They smell like candy. It's kind of scary looking, but very cute at the same time. Right now we're working on our last project of the day, which are scones. I'm making a tomato apricot jam. I went apricot picking in Little Rock, California, which is just like an hour outside of Los Angeles. And the apricots, best apricots I've ever had in my whole life. They're like sweet and grassy and just perfect. Each one has been perfect. Oh, and look at our fig leaf syrup. It's in this huge jar because this is all that I had. And just now I'm gonna start kind of pressing down the fruit to get it cooked down even more. I'm not gonna puree it because I want to keep those chunky bits. It smells so good though. It smells like apricot and tomatoes, like the sweet savoriness of it. First we need 312 grams of flour. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'm also gonna add some pepper, because again, we're playing on our like sweet and savory. And for this purposes, I want the pepper to really shine. So I'm gonna grind up some pepper. I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, one teaspoon of baking soda. All right, so our jam is done and it smelled so good. That's so good. It's like spicy and sweet and savory. It's just like, oh, it's so good. Scones came out so good. Look at them. I hate when the camera, it just kind of like bleaches it. Let me see. Anyway, they look freaking delicious. And I like to close it for a few seconds just to melt the butter. That looks so good. All right, so let's open it back up. See, the butter gets like a little bit melted. And then we're gonna take some of that jam. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. The good thing about being a baker is when there's no other food in the house, I can eat what I baked. It's kind of messy. It's very tender. All right, so we have our apricot tomato jam scone. That is so freaking good. I'm gonna lock it up. It's too good to release into the world. I am so impressed. So that was day one. We're signing off with our buttercream done, our scones done, and our fig leaf syrup done. Yeah, see you tomorrow. All right, day two. Today is the day of the champagne party, and the first thing up is our duck egg chiffon cake. And I want to show you guys the duck eggs that I got from the farmer's market. I love duck eggs. There we go. They're actually smaller than the duck eggs that I'm used to. They're almost pretty much the size of a regular egg. I do prefer a bigger duck egg because size does matter, but what can you do? I'm still grateful for the duck, okay? Or the ducks. This is probably multiple duck eggs. I really love duck eggs because they just give like a richness, and I feel like they work perfectly in chiffon cake because chiffon cake is very light. It doesn't have butter, and it's sometimes missing that richness and flavor of richness. The duck eggs are a perfect substitute for chicken eggs in this case. So the first thing we're gonna do is measure out our dry ingredients, or actually I'm gonna get our egg whites whipping first is what I like to do. So this recipe takes 6 eggs. And the yolk. And I decided to just do vanilla cake. So we're doing the duck egg chiffon with vanilla pastry cream and vanilla buttercream. Just keeping it simple and light. And stir up everything except for the flour and baking powder. And the King Arthur cake flour. That's what we're working with. Perfection. Utter perfection. Thank you. All right, so we're just gonna finish whisking this.
Regular cake. This cookie you might like to make.
No. So my mom just came over with a bunch of stuff for the party. We're doing a fruit platter, a cheese platter. I'm working on the cakes. So you guys, this was the moment when I realized that my mic was actually not working. And so I am here from the future to walk you guys through what I'm doing in this clip. So if you happen to be interested at all in being a better cake decorator, I decorated cakes professionally for about 10 years. And in this first clip, I am just torting. Well, this is not really the torting, but you're just slicing off the very top layer of your cake to make it super nice and even. And I always say that there's a lot of things that you can do when you're frosting the cake to make it nice and even. But it all starts with the cake layers before you even add any frosting. Now, this is what they call torting, and I'm starting pretty much at the halfway point in between the cakes to make 2 layers. And so I'm letting my knife do most of the work. I'm trying to keep my knife perfectly still, if you can tell, and I'm only moving the cake stand around the knife. And I'm just going in nice and softly. You don't want to go too hard or put too much pressure. And there I have 2 perfectly nice layers. Are they really perfect? No, but they're perfect enough. And we're doing it again. We're cutting off the top layer, starting from like the lowest point. So if you see that you have any like divots or dips in your layers, you go to that lowest point of the dip and cut from there. And then I'm just folding those up, tossing them, and then again going at the halfway point in between each layer. I've done this hundreds, maybe thousands of times. So, but it does take some practice. And I'm just going in again, and now we have 4 perfectly great layers of vanilla chiffon cake. This is my little trick to getting all of those crumbs and using my cake pan as a trash can. Oh, buttercream time. Okay, so this is vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream. And if anybody wants a recipe for that, I think I'm going to put it somewhere in this video. Bear with me because this is a long voiceover. But anyway, the trick that I'm showing here is that when vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream is sitting at room temperature for a certain amount of time, it's going to get cold. It really reacts to the ambient temperature. And so the trick to make it really nice and smooth again is to take a large portion of it, maybe about 60% of it, and just microwave it on very low, almost till it's melted. Not completely melted, but almost till it's melted. And then just whip that with the rest of the buttercream that is still cold so that you're getting one nice fluid texture that's nice and creamy and not too cold. Now we're going in with the vanilla pastry cream. And again, if anybody wants recipes for this, I think I'm going to put them in the video, like with text. But if not, message me. This is my little cousin Raylan. She insisted on being in this video. And she's helping me with the cake. I'm so sad that the audio went out because she's very astute and talented and intelligent and was helping me quite a bit with her perspective and asking really good questions. This was for my brother's champagne party, and we wanted to make a cake to celebrate my great grandmother, whose birthday would have been on that day. And so my mom asked for me to make a cake, and we kept it simple. We actually didn't end up cutting the cake pretty much until like the very end. Like there was so much going on. My mom had like an ice cream bar, we had popcorn. It just was like there was so much going on that it wasn't until the end that we were like, okay, let's cut the cake. It was really delicious. And I decided at the end to decorate with chamomile flowers. I have chamomile in my is it chamomile or chrysanthemum? No, chamomile. Chamomile flowers. I keep chamomile tea in my cabinet, so I happen to have them because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. It was just like, okay, random. So I just did a couple chamomile flowers at the top, which will show. So this is like I don't think I did a crumb coat because the layers are pretty stable. And again, it's just like a family and friends cake. So I just went around keeping what we call a live edge, which means that it's not nice and neat on the edges. It's really rustic and layered, and just going around and around, making sure all the sides are covered and straight. And what else can I say? There's Raylan. Okay, here's the chamomile flowers that we're just putting all around the cake. And she had the idea to put one flower in the middle, in the center, which you'll see. And what else? I think we are almost done. Is my sound coming back now? Oh, this was an 8-inch cake, if you can believe it. Party on Saturday was a movie. It was so much fun. I was so glad to see my family, and everybody came out and just hung out, and we got to celebrate my brother. I'm so proud of him. Like, he has grown up so fast. All of my brothers have grown up so fast, but he is the youngest one, and so it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like, I'm really big sis. We're back in the kitchen. I am going to start on, oh, actually the first thing I want to do is make this like kefir drink. This like lactose-free kefir from Green Valley. I got this at Bristol Farms and I had never seen a lactose-free kefir, so I'm really excited to try it. And I think I want to do like a smoothie vibe. I have some leftover strawberries from the party, and I also have some freeze-dried strawberries. And I'm thinking of making that into like a jam. I also have some psyllium husk, I think is how you pronounce it, psyllium husk, that I think I want to make into like a jam and then blend that up with the kefir into like a cute little drink. So let's get started on that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add in some freeze-dried. I got these from the farmer's market, some freeze-dried strawberries. And I'm just gonna play it by ear as far as the amount of sugar I wanna add. I am gonna add some water because remember I'm making this into a jam that I want it to be viscous enough to blend with the kefir. And then I'm gonna treat the psyllium husk the same as cornstarch, where I'm just gonna add a little bit at the end versus adding it all right now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add in 1 tablespoon of psyllium husk. I think that looks so beautiful. Like, the strawberries really cooked down, and the dried strawberries made them like super red. All right, let's blend it up. This smells like liquid yogurt. I'm gonna start with that. This actually turned out really good. Like I always like using dried strawberries with fresh strawberries because they just punch up the flavor a little bit. Like it makes it taste like a true strawberry, you know? And it's really thick and nice, like a smoothie. I myself feel like I just don't like yogurt like that. I do want to try water kefir though, kefir. All right, so while we're here, we're just gonna go ahead and make this hibiscus drink that I drink like all the time. I feel like it's really good for digestion, really good for cramps, really good for skin. And I just try to always have some of it in my refrigerator. What I use is goji berries, red raspberry leaf tea. I use rose hips and hibiscus. And what is that? And red dates. I also have been using dried peppers. These are chipotle. And yeah, I just really love it as a soothing drink. 2 tablespoons of red raspberry leaf tea. I barely have any red dates left, so I'm just gonna toss those all in there. 2 tablespoons of rose hips. 4 tablespoons of hibiscus because I do like it to be hibiscus forward and to have the tartness. And last I have my beautiful jar of chipotle. And last time was my first time adding this, and I felt like it was not quite spicy enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a whole one in there. Add some leftover strawberry tops. I'm gonna go ahead and add those in too for extra sweetness. And I just add all of my, this is not hot, I just use it to measure the water. Just all of my water, which is like 57, 58 ounces. I took a long break and now we're about to start on our next dessert. I want to do something to celebrate the apricots that I got. I'm still eating on the apricots. I'm almost done with them. I've just been like snacking because they are literally the best apricots I've ever had. I can't say that enough. Doing like a poached apricot over like ricotta whipped cream. So the first thing that we're gonna do is get our poaching liquid together. We're gonna poach the apricots and then we're gonna strain out the ricotta just to make it really nice and thick. And then we're gonna make that into like a whipped cream. We're also gonna do a sesame brittle on top for serving. So we're gonna do a couple different components and let's get started. I'm gonna start off with some Chardonnay. This is just what I got from the store. If you're a wine connoisseur, don't drag me. It has hints of crisp apple, pear, and light oak, and I thought that was really good for the apricots because the apricots do have like a savory, grassy note in them. What I want to say is that when I was making this dish before, I was living in Oakland, and there's a restaurant there called Cafe Calucci, and they sell an Ethiopian honey wine that I use for this. I don't know where I got that idea from, but I used it in this recipe and it was so good. Like it was a revelation. So we have to use an alternative today because I could not find that wine anywhere, but it should still be yummy. And to that, I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar. We're gonna reserve the syrup after making it to make into another like simple syrup. I have so many simple syrups right now, it's crazy. All right, and we're gonna do a little bit of saffron. You gotta do a little saffron with apricot. It's just so good. Salt. Do a little bit of rose water. I'm gonna put in 4 pods of cardamom. I should have crushed it first. 1 bay leaf. You guys, I bought bay leaves and I have a little bay leaf tree outside. And then I'm gonna do like a little zest, but not zest, but like a whole strip. It smells so good. So it's been a little bit over 3 hours since we made the hibiscus tea. So let's go ahead and strain it and taste it. Let's go over here. It's so freaking good. It's just like so refreshing. Like the tartness, the spiciness from the chili, like it's just so good. I don't usually add any sweetener. I just drink it straight because I'm better than you. Just kidding. I forgot to mention that the apricot ricotta situation will be for tomorrow because I'm gonna let the apricots poach overnight, and then I'm also gonna let the ricotta drain overnight. But I did do my sesame brittle. Let's go get it. Look at that. Good morning. It's like 9:13. I'm drinking my hibiscus tea that I made yesterday, unsweetened. Anyway, so I have a couple things to do today. I don't have a lot of time because I'm taking my brother to the doctor today. And I'm going to finish our apricot ricotta dessert, and then we'll get into everything else if we have time. I'm really getting my money's worth with this blender, to be honest. Pistachios are done. Pistachios are elite. They smell so good. Like the green color, like the smell. So I'm just gonna show you guys. I'm in love. Don't piss me off. That's what our pistachios are looking like, but that's the texture that we got. And whenever I do whipped cream, I always use powdered sugar. I just feel like it whips up better that way. Last, we're gonna go ahead and add some heavy cream. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, first we're gonna get some, oh my gosh, it's so light and creamy. I'm gonna get some of that down. Yes. Is that not so gorgeous? Just a little bit of this fig syrup. I know that's gonna be good. Cheetos on top of that. And then I'm just gonna break a little piece. That looks good. All right, it's time to try it. That looks so good. I love a simple dessert versus like a slice of cake or cheesecake. It's like all these different components that come together in a really simple way. Okay, that's our bites. That is actually too good. I need to put it away. It's so good. Like the freshness of the apricot is still there, which is why poaching fruit is such a good method to like appreciate the fruit, but still give it some kind of luxury, you know? Because it just imparts those flavors like really delicately instead of like baking it or anything like that. It's just like, it's so good. Just gonna strain out the poaching liquid and make it into a simple syrup. It kind of already is. I'm just gonna reduce it a little bit just to concentrate the flavors more. Good morning. Is there a more like sexy way to get this out? just gonna top it with another half of banana. Okay. I tried not to when I don't need to put any sweetener, but that kind of needs it. All right. All right, let's try this. It's not bad. It tastes like blended up oats. I like it. All right, it is day 3 of being in the kitchen, and I have a chocolate cake to make. You guys, don't ask me what I'm doing right now. I'm just having like an existential crisis about whether I should or should not film today. And either way, I have to get this cake done. It is the Matilda cake recipe from Butternut Bakery. I have a chocolate cake recipe, but it's not chocolatey and rich. It's more like chocolatey and light. I mean, chocolate is rich anyway, but it's not the kind of like quintessential chocolate cake. So in here I have 230 grams of flour. I'm gonna add 30 grams of cornstarch. I'm adding 100 grams of cocoa powder. This is the Rouge cocoa powder, which I think is like not, I don't want to say not ideal, but it's not what I would typically use. It's just that I don't have another type of cocoa powder, and I'm not gonna go buy one. It's just a more red leaning cocoa powder. And I think when you bake a chocolate cake, color does have like a lot to do with what you're getting, basically. You know, what you're trying to achieve. All right, so 2 teaspoons of baking soda. 1, 2, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We're doing a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna stir that up. And then I'm just gonna sift this in here. I used to be like really anti-sifting. Like I used to sift religiously. Then I was like, I don't think this is making a difference. And now I'm back to doing it. Ultimately, I don't feel like it makes or breaks anything. I think the best time to do it is when you do have cocoa powder, which gets really clumpy. See, that's all cocoa powder, basically. So if I didn't do this, it would be very clumpy. And then I also have like a really clumpy baking powder. And I don't know anybody that uses those little like machines that you squeeze for the sifting. Like that's doing way too much for me. I'm not doing that at all. Okay, so that's done. And then I'm just gonna still whisk it together. That looks really good because the brown sugar like melted in there. That's nice. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add in half of the wet. Whisk it up. I'm gonna be really gentle with this. And I love these little pre-cut sheets just to save yourself some time and mess in the kitchen, especially if you bake cakes a lot. But they're also useful for like springform tart pans if you want to just completely be able to remove the bottom. Let me pick up the bowl first. And I'm just gonna sift the powdered sugar in because mine is very chunky. Okay, so this is why. Together. Just gonna go ahead and pour that in and kind of mix it around. Can you tell I'm tired? And I might even just let it sit for a minute. That looks good to me. I love chocolate. So this is mixture is looking like. And I'm just gonna like
velvety tomato sauce, for example, or even blackberry jam. I remember my grandmother making this blackberry jam and keeping all the tiny seeds on top of the vegetable meal, and so her jam was the most velvety one you could imagine. My mom, she would use this to make bean puree because, again, it keeps the skin, you don't blend the skin into the puree, so the puree is velvety and soft. And then it's kind of cracked, so it's something very easy to use, easy to clean, more than a blender. And just the gesture of turning and cracking this vegetable meal reminds me of my grandmother. So it's also a memory that I really love, and it makes the best tomato sauce. Really, it doesn't change the.
bring it in when you come back. Mm-hmm. I don't think it is in there though, but it could be. Nani is proud of us. So proud. It's cute, baby. It's cute. I'm just not done.
You gonna put three on each corner?
Yeah, I put one on the top and then two on the edges.
So you didn't do this side.
Well, I couldn't tape it. Yeah.
Wait for it to dry.
Right.
I think you're good. I like what you're doing. Please, baby.
Oh, thanks, my love. I am up early this morning to finish this cake. I ended up wrapping it in plastic wrap in the refrigerator just to help it hold its shape. The buttercream is really loose, which the recipe did say it was going to be. So I was expecting that. It's like the Matilda cake, so I feel like it's not that big of a deal for it to be like perfect, you know. But I did want to do a crumb coat, which is just like an extra thin coat of frosting before you go ahead and frost it for real. From the side. It is very fudgy. Alright, let's go on. And I just left the buttercream out at room temperature last night. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a simple design on the side. My brother asked me to write on the cake, but I don't think I am going to, unfortunately. I'm gonna stick it back in the fridge and clean it up later and then transfer it to a cake plate. And we will enjoy it at the party tonight. Gorgeous, gorgeous girl. You don't need a lot to make a pretty cake. And that is a wrap on this week's video. Oh my gosh, I feel like this week was so long. We did so many things. We partied. We're going to party. What else did we do? I can't even think of all the things that we did this week. Oh, we made the apricot dessert. That was probably my favorite thing that I made this week. And tonight is my brother's birthday party, so I'll show a little bit of the party and the cake. And I'm planning on serving the cake with like a little bit of cream. I heard that's really good, like chocolate cake with a cup of cold cream. So we'll see about that. And yeah, I'm signing off here. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe and see you guys next week.